Good morning, everyone. This is the F5 Recovery Radio. Super happy we're here. This is your host, One Pretty Ricky. I'm joined by my co-host, Kirsten Huovinen, Adam Martin, and we have a very special guest. My son's in the studio.
Cutest one in here.
Mm-hmm.
He smiles a lot. We don't know if he's Ricky's son.
He does seem happy a lot.
Yeah, I just fed him before we came. It's really, honestly, the only thing that, he gets mad about is hunger. So he's definitely my son.
Oh, he's all of our sons.
That's it?
Mm-hmm. He won't cry for when he's sleepy. He won't cry for anything else. But you don't feed him in time. So I got a bottle prepped, even though I just fed him. I was like, if he starts crying, that's what he wants.
Huh? If he starts crying, he's yours again. I'm not going to hold him anymore.
Your son is hungry.
Yeah.
Feed me, son.
For me, it's usually when they're in trouble.
Bro.
They're like,
that they cry.
you know that your son got in trouble?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, why is it always when he's in trouble? Why is it when
he's in trouble?
He's helping an old lady across the street. He's your son.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's awesome.
Matt has some hereditary bad habits that, I don't know, like not listening to me and stuff like that.
Oh, it's such a hereditary bad habit.
Yeah, it is.
Is that what it is?
I could say something 40 times and Matt says it once and they just drop everything and do it.
The beginning of time, God wrote, do not ever listen to Kirsten.
For real.
It's
or
like
moms
sub
in general.
C of the third commandment.
Maybe I'm too nice. Maybe I should be more mean.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I think so. But, Matt could literally, I don't know if he's ever yelled at them, but he says something in a stern voice, and then you can tell they're trying desperately not to cry, and I just get all like, oh, okay.
I'm just in the feels.
Yeah.
Hey, don't be so mean.
But they respect him, I guess that's good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm the invisible maid. But I'll take it. I'll take it.
Bro.
You don't have any video on.
Oh, no, I turned it off because Justin doesn't want him on camera.
Oh.
It's going to be famous.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So how was your week, boys?
I'm good. Had this one all week. It's been fun. Been just taking them around doing chores and taking the Red Hawks game. Just a lot of little things. Just trying to I don't know, our doctor, or Jels's, I don't want to say lady doctor, OBGYN, excuse me, just recommended. He was like, just, even though kids are coming into your life, you're coming into theirs too. So help, you both have to acclimate to things.
Yeah.
And so it was one of the super, one of the best helpful things for me, because it was just all right, cool. I want him to come see what I do on the radio, all these things, even though he's only 6 months.
Oh yeah, my life's not over.
Yeah.
Kind of, but it's different.
Yeah. But it's
cool
been
way.
nice to be able to just, hey, this is F5, this is my staff meeting, this is all the different things. One, he gets loved on, which is awesome. But then it's really cool that he can get familiar with other things than just daycare, than just kids.
And they say it goes so fast, and it does, because my son is now off to NDSU.
Yeah.
But sometimes the days are so painfully slow. You just think this is never going to end.
Yeah.
But they do get bigger, and then they have bigger kids, bigger problems.
Drop you off behind Target. You better get a job. I know you're 3 years old, but holy God.
Yeah. And it's been cool to raise kids and have my husband grew up in a really rough home, and he was always so afraid to be a dad. He thought he'd just turn into his dad somehow and become abusive, but this generation has never seen that. They will not replay that. They have no idea what that's like. So it stopped, you know what I mean? It was amazing. And that's recovery. That's having somebody to be like, what do I do now?
Yeah. I don't think I got comfortable being a dad until my daughter.
Yeah.
Before that, I think I did all right as a dad. I sucked as a dad. I have multiple baby mamas that can probably contest to that. Not the best in any case or whatever. Did the best I could in many situations. But my daughter, on the other hand, until she showed up the other day where we went to Kingpins.
Yeah.
And she walked up to an arcade, and then she noticed that it needed money. She turned around. She's like, "Daddy, money." I was like, "No, you didn't."
Well played, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, money, and she did the
like the hand, like the wave,
like she was trying to like get breast milk.
Yeah,
like you know, put her hands up with her fingers. You know,
Yeah.
I was like, woman,
And you forked
it
up
is
some
too.
money, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. Good job.
Yep,
Yeah.
just like that.
I looked over at her mom. I was like, nuh-uh. No, she didn't do that. And she's like, I don't know where she got it from. I was like, I know exactly where she got it from.
Well, it's efficient.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
I mean, she got what she needed.
Yeah,
Well,
for
she
real.
knew. Yeah, she looked at
funny
the
that she knew
closest
exactly where to go.
solution,
Uh-huh.
and it was probably the
like you.
best solution.
Yeah,
Daddy, money. It's exactly how she said
yeah,
it.
money.
My husband used to
My
call.
boys would be like, hey,
Can I?
can you borrow me some money?
For what? From your job?
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I'll do the dishes or something
yeah?
when we get home. You know.
Will you?
Yeah, it never happened. They
No.
were just hustlers. That's yeah.
Well,
That's so
I mean, they come by that honestly too.
So,
But parenting is like it's a crapshoot. I have no idea what I'm doing most of the time. All of the time, I have no idea what I'm doing. Every kid is so different. And usually I just say, like, they'll get in trouble and I'll be like, well, I don't know what to do now. What do I do?
Right.
And then they're like, well, I suppose you should take my phone. And I'm like, oh my God, you're creating like this punishment I never would have given you.
man,
But now I
I
have
never. Oh no.
I have
I'm
to
not-
not
My
let you
parents.
phone.
My mom asked me that once, and she was like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "I think I should get spanked." And then she was like, "Okay." And then, but I was like, "But just with your hands." So like, my parents never really like. It was a black household. That we
Yeah.
definitely got spanked. Like I think the last time I got spanked I was like 16.
oh,
Like we got it, and I was like, "Yep, I probably should get spanked with your hand." And then she like looked at me and she was like what? Like
I
and
don't
I've never-
spank with my hands.
Exactly.
I don't know what
Yep,
you're
grabbed
thinking,
the belt
boy.
and just so then I took care of that. But it was just like one of those things. It was like, but she never asked me again. Like I was not like able to like think of like a good punishment. I was always trying to get out of whatever punishment I was gonna get because I couldn't like be like, oh well, this is I did
Money.
wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
Money,
it was like
daddy,
no.
money.
Yep. I was like, no, I
don't
wouldn't
know.
have the.
I'm not. My grandma would spank. Like it was a family thing. My grandma would be like, all right, you want to act like that? Walk out there and go get a peach tree limb.
Yep.
And come back here.
How do you know
That
which
is-
was a peach tree?
Well,
How do you
Well,
know
I was in
which one
southern
was?
Alabama.
yeah.
Like
So
the-
most of
you
the
know what
trees.
they are.
Oh.
They're switches is what they are.
They really are. And if it's too brown, they're gonna make you go back and get it. 'cause
It's
they want
long for witch
Right.
is what it is.
Jeez.
like
Yeah.
they
So
want green, they want fresh.
yeah,
You guys
fresh.
must have been naughty.
Not something that's gonna break, because that's what you do. You go and you'd find like I'm pretty sure I could probably get 3 spankings with this and it will break. Because you don't know when they're gonna stop. They don't tell you how many can. Like, when I saw the first time that some parents like you're gonna get 5 spankings, I was like, oh, that's easy. You know when the end is.
Yeah.
When my dad spanked me, you didn't know. Like it was like sitting in jail waiting to go to court and not know what your sentence is.
Yeah.
I never got spanked.
Oh
Maybe
my
I should have been
gosh.
spanked. I maybe
No.
would have been better.
We all
No,
ended up
we-
here.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
I
that
got
doesn't
spanked, but I
really
still
matter.
know that was
Doesn't
not.
matter.
That wasn't gonna save you. If it was
Nope.
gonna happen, it was gonna happen.
I was a disappointment, and that was enough to kill
Yeah.
me.
My dad one time came home I got spanked for anything. Anything. If I just
pure
looked at my
anything
dad
is-
weird, he's just like, get over here. And so one day I got home and I was like, I saw my brother, and
busy.
being my little brother like is not good some
Right.
days. And I was like, he's got long hair, and I was like, Chris, come here. Let me shave your head.
Oh my lord.
Right.
Oh.
And his hair was like I talked him
With a
into it.
bic?
Right.
It took me 20 minutes and I talked
Because
him
they had
into
that
it.
much hair.
And my dad came home and he saw the clippers. He saw my my brother and he was like, "Get over here." And I was like, I think you're blowing this out of proportion.
me.
It's going to grow back. That was my justification, was like, it's going to grow back. And so I knew I was going to get spanked when he got home. And so I put on like like 3 pairs of sweatpants and 2 pairs of my mom's jeans.
Oh man, I'm definitely. Yep.
And he started swatting my butt, and I turned around and looked at him.
No.
Yeah,
Adam.
dude. I turned around, I looked at him,
No,
and he was just like,
no.
oh. Woo, pull them all down, bare ass, boom. And he would spank with his hand. He would spank with his hand, or he'd pull out the belt, right?
Yep.
My mom, she did it one time, and she used her hand. Never again. She like broke a blood vessel or something like that.
Oh no.
And I was like, man, I should not have been flexing. Because now she used my Christmas presents. That's like how aggressive, like, anyway.
Yeah.
Kids today got it easy. Well, I'm saying.
Could you spank now? I couldn't do it.
I gave my daughter a swat because she kept hitting Christy, right? And she was just like, she walked up to her and like went right in her face, and then like started, and so I gave her a good swat. And I apologize. I just can't.
I've never felt so awful.
But I was the same with my boys too. I just couldn't.
I can't
There's
do
too
it.
much flashbacks from when my dad would do it, and I just feel like a horrible person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So.
can't do it. I think from AA and from having a sponsor and other women in recovery, we've learned to like make the consequence make sense for the
Punishment.
for
the
whatever they
crime.
did, like if they hurt somebody's feelings, they need to apologize to them and to their parents for making them sad, and then the living amends part is that now you're this kid's biggest fan, so anyway, just stuff like that, because otherwise life, how is that's not going to make any sense, like,
Right.
anyway. So
I always thought spanking was interesting because it was like, I'm spanking you because you were hitting.
yeah, I
Right.
know it's so
You know what I
counter.
mean? Yeah.
It just like logically I can't make sense of it.
Yeah.
No.
The only thing I can make sense of it is like the alpha dog thing. Like you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. You hit someone, I smack your butt,
Right.
to show you, like, to keep order in the kingdom. You
Right.
know what I mean, or whatever. But outside of that, I'm just like, man, I can't do this.
I know. And they already respect you, so it's not like you're, you know what I mean? You're just creating fear, which is inefficient.
Well, I got spanked all the time.
Right.
My kids have never. I can count on one hand between all 4 of them how many times that they've been
There you
spanked
go,
together, and
We're done.
I'm pretty sure that they're doing better than I was at their age. So
But they didn't, our parents didn't have nobody talked about child development and blah, blah, blah. Nobody cared where the kids were even.
Right.
Just so they just did what they knew how to do. And I'm sure our kids will grow up and be like, how archaic were timeouts and blah, 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 which are completely inefficient.
you ever seen those videos where they play a trick on their dad and the kid's like, shut up, mom. And then you just see that switch happen inside the dad and get up and start walking towards that kid, and they all like run to him. They're like, they're just kidding. There was one time I watched it, the dad's like, I don't care. Shouldn't have been playing that trick.
Too far. I talked to my youngest. I'm like, okay, Charlie, when Matt comes home, I'm gonna ask you to do something, and you tell me to shut up. And he's like, I can't. And I'm like, okay, well, it's just a joke, dude. It's just a joke. And so I
He's
go,
like, nope, this isn't
Charlie,
funny.
do the dishes. And he goes, shut up, Mom. I was like, well, that's not gonna sell it. Matt just looked up and he's like, you guys are the worst.
You guys are ridiculous.
So that's probably a good sign that he felt really uncomfortable telling me to shut up. But I think Matt used to call me woman. He thought it was funny. Until I got in the car one day and our youngest said, where's my water, woman? And I looked at Matt and I was like, and he goes, yeah, I'm done saying that. I'm like, yes, you are done saying that. Yep.
I thought about that the other day too, because I said it to Kinsley.
Yeah.
Went one day out because she came. It was probably one of those things where she's like, "Daddy, money," and I'm like, "Woman." And then I realized I was like, I don't like that anymore. So I'm gonna stop doing that.
But you don't know till you see
So
it.
it happens. Or it's
Yeah.
only like repeated. and
Yes.
It's like, oh, I
Once
did
it's
that.
repeated,
That's
you.
like,
Oh, and she's on repeater mode right now. Everything.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah. I pretty much just don't talk anymore.
I'm just silent at home.
Silence.
Silence is golden. But I feel like, I think that's the one grateful thing that for recovery and just other pieces. But I'm just glad that like a lot of the traumas that I had growing up, outside of feeling guilty, but I just don't want to pass those things on. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I want to be better in just all the ways. And that was like one of the things that conversation me and Chelsea had. But like, I wasn't that woke to be like, oh, I'm not going to spank my kid. Because I was very much like, it's like, no, this is like how I was raised. And then she was like, no, but that, like a lot of those things that you had to go to therapy for, like she was repeating back a lot of situations that were probably stemming from, getting hit as a child.
Yeah.
And as literally as a teenager,
Yeah.
she was like, well, probably a lot of those things are coming from that. So if you don't want, and that time we weren't even pregnant, it was just like, well, if we even have kids, it's like, that's not the type of like, because then that might be how you respond to things, but that's not how I'm going to respond to things. And that's going to cause all sorts of issues too.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh,
that
I guess I
does
didn't
cause-
realize that was trauma that I was experiencing.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to pass it. Like, not willingly, or like I'm preemptively. I'm not even like just not even pregnant yet. And I'm like, oh yeah, no, we're spanking my kids for sure. They haven't even done anything yet, and it was just like so just matter of fact. And I'm like, yep, as soon as they mess up, they're getting spanked. And I was like, what? Like, what is like how in the world? And so it was just
it
such
doesn't
a
make any sense.
No.
It doesn't make any sense.
yeah, and it was just
And
such
they're
a
too young to know
any different.
how to figure that out,
Yeah.
And it's amazing how like before you have kids, you have so many ideas
Oh man.
of how kids are gonna go, and then you have kids, and you're like, I should have kept my mouth shut
Yep.
because I don't know. But I just think you just love them and try and do the best with them. I don't know. They seem to turn out okay. I don't know. Matt and I made some pretty great kids, and genetically, I don't know that was supposed to happen. So something went right, But you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
There's so many other women and men that are parents in recovery that I can just say, now what? Because now I don't know what to do now,
Right.
And but
I mean, me and the moms
yeah,
gotten off pretty lucky with the kids. I mean, Nick just got like a big boy job. He's going to college,
that
sober.
kid's so great.
Brecken feels comfortable calling me at any time,
Yeah.
Nice.
And then Kinsley's just, I don't even know. I don't know what's up. Like,
You're hers. Is
yeah,
what that
like
is, yeah.
yeah.
She owns you.
She's the alpha
Yeah.
in this relationship.
You think it's because she's a girl?
It's 100%
Yeah.
because she's a girl. But I mean, even Ricky can contest this. Even as the CEO or whatever, if a girl comes to the office and she starts crying about something, I'm just like, what do you want?
Oh, Lord.
It's like I don't know if it's some kind of trauma response for me to just fix crying girls or something, but this is why Jeff and everybody and Scott are on leadership team. You got to go through like 4 people to get to me. So
Yeah.
if you can make the waterworks all the way through there, but now Camille's there.
Yeah.
And she's a woman.
I don't think Camille's
Yeah.
I don't think Camille's gonna
Sorry.
stand
She's
for
like,
that.
knock
Yeah.
it off.
You're going to need to suck it up. You
Yeah,
have to redo
suck
your
it up.
eyeliner.
Get to work.
Yeah.
And I'm just in there, just having like, dude, like I don't deal with it anymore. So,
What could I do to make this right? Oh.
where are we going? What are we
Yeah, I
doing?
know. Do
I'll
we
fix
have
it
to go on
right
a
now.
date now?
Yeah.
That's how you got on all your
But I don't have that when it's just me and baby at home. She just starts crying. I'm like, I'll hold you. She could have just flipped out on me,
Yeah.
threw my keys in the toilet and flushed them probably,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, that's my fault.
Yep.
It's my
Sorry.
fault. I'm sorry.
Sorry I had a car.
Yeah, I'm sorry I own things. How dare me? We should just be living on the street so you have fruit. You don't just can't do stuff like that.
I think I was meant to be a boy mom for sure. Anyway, I love my boys, but there's been times where I've held their door shut so I don't kill them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And I quit fixing drywall, so whenever they put a hole in it, I just frame it and put their initials by it. Whether
Yes.
it's them or their friends or whatever. Makes for a good story.
Yeah.
Or my dad put a hole in the wall. with
Boys
the
are
door.
different. They're just like,
Holy smokes.
they're just boys.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I was watching a comedian on Netflix or whatever, and he was talking about how he has boys, and he's like, and they're like boys, you know, like their pronouns are like I don't care,
I know, yeah, for sure.
like
I know.
you know, I'm a you know, kind of whatever, and. He's like, and I went over to my friend's house, and they have little girls or whatever. I brought my boys with.
Yeah.
And he's like, and they walked in, and they were like, hello, Uncle Tommy. Can we color? And they were just, that's all they did for an hour. I looked at my kids. I didn't know where they were at.
I know,
like-
for real.
they're
I
just-
know. My brother has girls, or 2 girls, and they would sit and color. They could take them in public to go to eat. I can't take 3 boys in public. I always say everything in my house is broken or peed on.
Yeah.
And there's always like a fire somewhere. I don't know how that happens. I hide the matches and stuff. I swear to God. But one time I looked out the window and Charlie had this huge pile of those snap it things.
Yeah.
And he piled them all up and he was going to light them on fire. I'm like, oh, please stop. But now that they're teenagers, smooth sailing.
That's
you know what I
cool.
mean?
Yeah,
I'm
you
always
got it
like,
all out right away.
How's your mental health? How's your And they're
Yeah.
like, I'm fine, Mom.
Yeah.
Just whatever,
Yeah.
you know? Anyway, but so there's very minimal drama
You have to monitor them all the time when they're boys, too.
all the time.
Because even when me and my brother, like, the garage is the worst place for boys.
Absolutely.
The
yeah.
absolute worst. Because I'd go out there and I remember
Flammable.
one time I went out there and Chris was filling up glass bottles with gasoline, and I was like, "What do you do?" Okay, let's do this. And then we like threw them out into the street just because we
God.
watched a movie one time
Like
where
a
they did
Molotov
that, and then
cocktail
they
and-
just like spread.
Sure.
It doesn't work
Yeah,
necessarily like that. Like
No.
it's got to be like perfect, like built. Or we didn't know that. We just put it, and then we were trying to light it with
Oh,
you know.
crap.
In a
Oh,
glass
my
bottle,
Lord.
And I was like, "Oh, my god, I gotta go to
Oh.
the bathroom." And there was like a vacuum in there, and it plugged it in. I peed into the vacuum, like it was
just to see. What
yeah, just to
happened.
see.
I
And
know,
like
I know.
like my mom, I can't imagine, like
Yeah.
the story, like when stories got back to my mom. Your sons are outside throwing glasses of gasoline to start fires and peeing in vacuums.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that sounds like Monday.
Yeah, it totally is. It really is. It absolutely is. And then my father-in-law told my 7-year-old that, did you know actually that gasoline is not flammable? You could put a match and stick it in the gas and nothing would happen. And I'm like, Bill, will you shut up? Oh my God. He's like, it's the fumes that are flammable. I'm like, oh my God, he's 7, you know? Anyway, so my mother-in-law and I just stared at him like,
Yeah.
unreal.
You can't if you're telling boys something and you just see their head just tilt
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
a little bit as they're receiving that information.
Mm-hmm.
Watch
over. Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Like there's,
Something bad's gonna happen.
I'm a boy.
yeah.
Like I know the like, you know, and I've also noticed that moms with boys are a little more sympathetic to them, especially if they have a dad.
yeah.
Right, comes walking in and is like, "Stop! Knock it off! What's wrong with you?" They're like, "Oh, baby, come here."
Yeah. I want them to like me.
Not so with the daughter.
No.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think I don't know if it's necessarily like. Well, obviously we have a son, but like one of the days, like we had to give him like medicine, and so I was like, "All right, Chelsea, you should do it. You know, I'll prep the medicine, you give it to him." And he just hated it. And then I just picked him. I was like, "Oh, what did Mom do?" And it was great. It was like one of
Yeah.
the funniest. Like, and he's just smiling. He was like, "Oh, you're in Dad's arms." Like, I'm fine. Like, I always make her do the nose suction what
Yeah.
he hates, and like anything that like I know he's gonna probably cry. I'll make her do, and then I can just come and become the savior and just like, oh, you know, like yeah, they're there. And then he's just
Oh,
like so
Lord.
happy. And she was like, "You always." I was like, "You know, but like you just do it so much better." And you know, I mean,
That's
easily I
super
could do
manipulative. Yeah.
it. It is.
Yeah.
But I was just like,
I mean, you do what you got to do.
I was like, I just want them to know that like you're always safe.
They don't
Now I'm
remember
like
that
to
stuff.
like to the point where like when the kids like got or like argumentative or like whatever, I'm just like, you have no idea, bro.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
I'm at the time I'm like, I'm 5 years sober, bro. It's like I will
I got
back in the
answers.
day you would not be talking to me like
Yeah,
that.
for real.
You know.
I know.
Yeah. And then I remember one time me and Nick got in an argument and I was just like, listen, you're getting in trouble. like, you're grounded. And I was like, I can't believe you're doing this. He's like, I can't believe you're a felon. And I was like,
oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah. Well, and then that you remember that thing that dads used to say, or maybe moms too, but I brought you into this world. I'll take you out of it. Mm-hmm. Right? It popped in my head.
For real.
And that was the moment I was
things.
like, that was the moment when I not identify with my dad, but how far I pushed him. Mm-hmm. He would be willing to say, I will murder you.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I know. It's like you hold the door shut so you don't hurt them because they're on your last nerve, and you're not reacting like a principled person anymore. Now I'm fighting with a 6-year-old on their level. You know what I mean? We are fighting over Legos, and I am gonna win.
Yeah. I have to repeat to myself over and over, I'm in recovery. I'm in recovery.
I'm an adult.
Especially if we go out to eat and baby decides, you know what, I ain't listening to nobody.
Yeah.
I'm going to run. Oh, you see that fire exit right there? All I have to do is push the button.
Yeah.
And she'll just, she'll book it. She'll just like get down real slow and just like look at me. Like as she's getting down slow, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Watch
Nothing,
me.
Daddy. And then she'll get her, as soon as the feet touch the floor, it's like it activated sonic boom, and she just bolts.
Yeah.
And then I just like look around, and I'm like, all right, find 10 things that she can hurt people with. Be ready. Be prepared. That's like my walk into any situation. Is I walk in. Bruce Lee used to find 10 things that he could kill his opponent with. Right. I walk in 10 things that my kids can use to hurt people.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, you should probably put that up.
Yeah. I left my house when my son said, hey, can we jump off the garage onto the trampoline? And I said, no way. No way. We have the neighbor kid over here. We don't have insurance for all that crap. Anyway.
Like we just talking about insurance.
So we're no way. Anyway, I go to the grocery store. I come back, and they're jumping off the garage onto the trampoline.
Yes.
Yes. Over and over. And I said, what are you guys doing? Oh, Dad said it was totally fine. He got us the ladder.
Yes. I did it one time.
God.
I jumped off the roof of the garage onto the trampoline, and the garage, I mean, there's garages you can do this with. They're not very tall.
Yeah.
But this one was a tall one. I was scared. I was shaking. My knees were shaking on this roof. And I was like, I got to do it. All my friends, they're all on their bikes, and they're all standing there watching. And so I jumped, and I hit the trampoline so hard that it went all the way down to the ground and then popped me back up. But I didn't. No. It happened so fast that I did not know that it knocked the wind out of me. And so, as I'm coming back down or whatever, I was like, that was amazing. Could not breathe. Did not do it again. Pretty sure I chipped my tailbone or something.
Sure.
It was severely bruised.
Yeah.
But I was a legend in North Moorhead.
You were. Yeah, I bet
by jumping off that
still
garage.
Are.
Yeah.
You probably still are.
Yeah.
Last time I was on a trampoline, I got a black eye. And that was the day before I was going to have my 15 minutes of fame on that one little news program.
Yes.
And we went out to eat, and my husband was like, do not sit by me. Go sit by my brother. Don't sit by me. Because it was black.
Yeah, you can't. You don't get a chance to defend yourself. You didn't even do anything wrong, and now your wife is sitting next to you with a black eye.
Yeah. I put my knee in my eye socket, and immediately it swole shut. And I was just like, oh, this is probably not going to be good. Nope. Anyway.
Even a best friend that knows that you would never do that would just for a second be like, huh.
Yeah. And then you have to you're immediately explaining yourself. And then it's like, why are you explaining yourself?
Yeah.
I did this to myself. There's no scenario where anyone's gonna believe you.
I would have messed with people and would have been like, I fell down the stairs.
I did sit by my brother-in-law, and then I'd flinch every time he'd move.
Yes. Matt, no.
Yeah, Matt would not let me sit by him. He's like, get away from me.
Oh, that probably made it worse.
Oh, it was awesome.
He's like, why is Kirsten sitting all the way over there shivering?
Kirsten, do you need a blanket? No, I'm okay. Right, Matt?
That was a long.
Is there anything we can do for you? Hold up a sign that says help.
That's when I was moving girls into the house,
Yeah.
and I'd show up with this black eye. They're like, "Oh, well, I'm doing better than you are." Like, well, it's not what you think. I did it to myself.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, did we have a topic today?
Today's topic is about parenting and recovery. We're just going to
good.
pivot real
Awesome.
quick.
Oh, we are? Oh, okay.
I just pivoted. I was like, well, he's here. This will make it easy. He's a good topic.
Might as well. You brought a kid.
Yeah.
But
What? You're Ricky Jr., right? Or Ricky the Third? Fourth?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are not very creative.
Well,
Just same name over and over again.
Is it Richard?
I wish it was that. I wish all my kids were like Adam Jr., Adam, whatever. Because it'd be so easy.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'd just be like yelling at myself.
True. Yeah. You'd never know.
Just saying that. That would be nice. Because you could just rock out a whole group.
Right.
Yelling at one.
Right.
So then what would you do with the girl name?
Well, she would be.
Amanda?
She doesn't get yelled at.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord. This is going to go well.
Oh, she is gonna. I know she's gonna walk all over me
Yeah,
when
it's
she.
fine. I think it's fine. I think, within reason, if you keep them safe, like, it's okay to spoil them a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Maybe I spoil them a lot.
Yeah, that's the transaction between her and I. Is that like she'll just walk up to me if she's always excited
Yeah.
when I walk in the door. She can literally do whatever she wants.
I know.
Just.
I know. It's so great.
And that's not
Yeah.
that's not extended to everybody. Like I mean,
No.
my dogs are like I could leave for 5 minutes and come back and they'd be like, "You've been gone all day,"
I know.
and just like jump all over me. I'm like, "Stop! God, oh, get off me!" If I do that with baby, I just come back in and she'll just be like, "Daddy," and just run across the house over to me, and I'm just like, "Man, I'm staying home today."
Yeah. Enjoy it. 'Cause
Yeah.
then they just go to the basement pretty soon.
Yeah. I remember when Brecken stopped. I still, because he's, 15 or whatever, so he's the closest to all the changes. But he was just like my nerd.
Yeah.
We play video games together. We just do, lounge together, watch cartoons. And he was just like so just excited about everything. And then girls.
For real. Yeah.
I know that's when it happened,
know.
is when because he started. He used to just wear like windbreakers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not even comb his hair and stuff and go to school. And then one day he came home and he like looked at his closet and was just like, "This is not good enough."
Yeah, I know.
And now he's like, we were at the Nike store in the Mall of America, and he was like, "These are good enough." And I'm like, "Those are $80,
Yeah.
Brecken."
Right.
He's like, "I have $80 from birthday." And I was like, "You better give it to me,
Yeah, I know.
because otherwise we're going to Target,
Yeah.
and you can get a pair for $12.99 that look just like that."
And you can work on your personality. Chicks will dig that. I'm not buying you this
Such
crap.
a cop out. Work on your personality.
I know. I have 2 teenage boys in the basement, and one day it just smelled good. And like they wondered where the vacuum was, and weird stuff like that. And there was a lot of cologne initially. It was really hard to choke down, but
Yeah, they don't get the concept of how cologne works.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right?
Oh, remember
Spray it
Axe
up in
body
the air,
spray? Oh,
walk through
man,
it,
I would
whatever,
spray
right?
Yeah.
So much.
I'm going to take, if this one like concentrated spot smells good, I bet it smells good 15 more times.
Yeah,
Right.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Everywhere.
but it's gotta last all day. That's why you put on so much.
No.
That's what I used to think.
Why
No.
do their undies smell like cologne,
Well,
boys? Anyway,
I don't know.
Because
if a little works on your neck,
just in case it's wanted to
Just in
smell
case.
nice.
oh, just in case, yeah.
I don't think there's a boy alive who hasn't been like pulled his sweatpants open and sprayed cologne down there. I'm telling you, if you are a boy listening to this, it's a horrible idea.
Yes,
Don't do it.
Yep.
Does it sting?
Well, no,
No.
it just
No.
it's
Doesn't work out
dumb.
well in the end, yeah.
There's no point to it.
Well, yeah, that's so true.
I honestly believe they came out with Axe body spray just for kids because you can spray as much as you want and it's going to die in 10 minutes.
Right.
Oh, I don't know. Those first 10 minutes, though.
Or you smell like you're from Jersey Shore.
That ride to school is rough.
Morning bus drivers should make twice the pay.
Yeah.
Just fumes, cloudy in the car.
Just put you
It's
in
not
an
even 'cause
incubator
vaping.
of
People,
Jersey Shore boys.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Jersey Shore, the programming on KRFF, LPFM, Radio Free Fargo, is being underwritten by Flatland Guitar and Lutherie. Flatland Guitar is your full-service guitar shop and exclusive dealer for Yamaha, Taylor, and Paul Reed Smith guitars and other brands. They sell guitars on consignment. They also take trade-ins and have a full-service on-site repair center. Check out Flatland Guitar and Lutherie on Facebook, or you can visit them in person at their location at 1450 25th Street South in Fargo. Oh.
Oh, you guys are good dads.
We're all right.
I know.
Hanging in there.
Staying home with my boys was the best decision I ever made, and the biggest blow to my ego to go from hey, I'm a addiction counselor and I've done it for 17 years to be like, I'm a mom. It's just, why is that a worse thing to say? I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's been amazing. I know my kids. My husband is employed enough to support us, which is amazing. He works really hard. But I think there was a point where I started to realize, I don't really know them. I drop them off at daycare, I pick them up, I keep them alive from 5 to 7, and then I do it all over again, And so it's been super cool to be there every day. And, I just never thought I'd want that, ever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was a shock, 'cause I think it was right before he was born, where I was like, I think I want to do this. I think I want to become a stay-at-home dad. And before, I had always joked, I'll be a stay-at-home dad, because I just wanted to, sit at home and just chill, watch TV, and just, get taken care of.
Yeah.
But then it was, that connection with him would just be, just even more, meaningful. Not even so much for him anymore, but it was more for me and having my, really being able to stretch and grow. And so for Jelsa and I don't know, we haven't, I think we're only going to have one. And so it's well, if this is it, if we don't get another kid, adopted, fostered, or naturally, and this is it, then that literally means this is it.
Yeah.
And so then it's if I'm not home, if I'm always gone, or just whatever. And nothing against, so Jelsa obviously supports us, which is awesome. So, obviously that's a choice that somebody has to make to be able to do.
There will always be work out there. It just goes so fast.
But it's well,
nope.
You gotta be.
Nope.
You couldn't do it?
Nope.
Couldn't do it.
Nope. For the safety of the kids.
Yeah.
You do not want me being an at-home dad.
I don't think I could have done it when they were little.
She'd come home and be like, "Where's the baby?" And I'd be like, "I don't know."
Yeah. I think I got tired of it.
I slept until 11.
No, there's no sleeping in. Oh my
The baby's
gosh.
upstairs playing with her toys. And you're down here sleeping. It was an accident. I don't know what to do.
Yep, I was here.
I must have fallen asleep.
was
She
there.
got bored with
Dishes
me.
aren't done.
Yeah.
House is a mess.
Where's
What do you
supper?
do all day? All those things that would crappy guys say to women. It would be legit
Yeah.
for women to say that to me. They're like, "What do you do all day around here?" I'm like, "You know what?
do
This
I
kid's
do?"
alive.
Yeah.
He hasn't eaten yet. It's 5 p.m. Neither one of us have eaten. Where have you been?"
It is a different thing. When I leave and Matt's well, I'll come home and I'll think, okay, what did you feed them? Why aren't the dishes done? Seriously, you can multitask. And he's what? I was watching the kids.
Yeah, we were busy.
Holy goodness.
Yeah.
How do you think this operates?
Listen, I just want to say that when we use the same arguments, they don't matter.
They don't. It does not.
They
work.
don't matter at all. I could say, "I'm sorry, I was just overwhelmed. The kids were just so much, or whatever." She'd be like, "The dishes aren't done." Listen, you use that argument. She's like, "'Cause I do stuff with the kids." You just sat at home and watched Super Mario Brothers 4 times.
That's a good point. That's a really good
Yeah.
point. I like that.
Well, I'm glad you do stuff.
Yeah.
Or I'll think, I'm gonna be gone for a whole day, and then he'll know what it's like to have to take care of these kids or whatever. And then I'll call and what are you guys doing? We just went to McDonald's. I'm like, God. Oh. So now he's the cool one and has less work. Ugh. Anyway,
Yeah.
I could make the entire meal. He brings the hamburgers in from the grill, and they say, oh, Dad cooked supper. This is awesome. Just like, oh, Lord, whatever.
I don't know why it's that way, where dads can just do this simple task and they're just like the saviors of the family.
But I definitely remember doing that to my mom. Like, I need to call her and apologize because I did that often.
Right after I had kids, I was like, oh, Mom, I'm sorry. Thanks for not murdering me. Because, it's a lot of... Anyway, but...
I just want to say I never had that with my dad wasn't... He hardly was ever there. So it was... When he showed up, it was like, where you been?
Yeah.
You got a motorcycle? My mom's over here busting her ass, working overnights to take care of me and my brother, and we're like terrorists.
It was just the two of you?
It was just me and my brother. And so then, I mean, she have a boy, she met a guy and then he had a kid or whatever, and then, they had other kids, but we never really knew them.
Yeah.
And my dad's just like, I'm going to Alabama. He just woke up one day and left.
Oh.
Yeah. He was like, and then he wrote letters like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, you're a weirdo, bro. Like, we're up here.
Leave?
Yeah. And then he had like another family and another kid, and his name's Marcel, and he looks just like us.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I actually messaged him the other day. We're going to try and like be brothers or whatever. Because he's 24.
Oh,
and
my
we've
gosh.
always known of each other. We just never had a relationship. We've met each other a couple times, but it's hard. You live in Alabama. I live in North Dakota.
Huh.
I can't just jump on a plane when I'm a kid, So, yeah.
Wow.
24. That's young.
Yeah, he's 22 actually, because my son is a year older than him, and he's his uncle.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Isn't that weird?
Happens, yeah.
Yeah, we have that too. I have like 4 uncle cousins is what we call them. They were
Uncle
young
cousins?
because
You
they're
shouldn't
uncles.
call people that.
Are you
Well,
from Alabama?
Yeah, that
Bro,
sounds
well,
really like...
My grandpa was from Virginia, and so after him and my grandma got divorced, he got remarried and
My brother
decided
cousin,
to have kids
my dad uncle.
much later.
Dad, uncle, grandma,
When you
dad.
start mixing the words together, it gets kind of like, I cannot do the math on that.
What up, stepmom, grandma?
But it was weird because like the oldest was still 9 years younger than me, so it's like, and then they would try to like boss you around, like, oh, I'm your uncle. I'm like get out of here, kid. You just push them around, like,
Yeah.
It's like
It's a lot more common now to have kids at later age, because I'm not talking like I was 17, right? And now kids today are waiting until whatever. Because that was like, I was just that kid, you know what I mean? But like having a kid in your 40s now, for a couple different reasons. One, people are like getting divorces and then remarried later, and then they want to have kids, or their own kids, And then the other one is guys just getting out of prison after long sentences.
Yeah.
Like the what was it, the Crime Act or whatever back in '93, or those guys got locked up for like 20 years, and now they're getting out. Yeah, they're getting out, and like they served a life sentence, and they're getting out, and then now they're having kids.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That would be a day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose between having a kid now versus having a kid when I was 17, I wish I could have had those same kids when I was like now.
Right.
Because I actually have stuff to give them. You know what I mean? Like, here's a home.
Yeah.
But
They're pretty badass kids. You know what I mean? Like, you
and I
did
think the
that
strong
right.
times made strong boys, right? I think that they're gonna be very successful in whatever they do,
for sure.
because of the lack of and the fear of going back to that.
And because how transparent you are, and how like, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's really a beauty in being able to talk to your kids about like, okay, this is how it went poorly for me. Like, this is in your genetics.
No, we don't do that. I tell them to stop.
You dork.
I'm like, you knock it off.
See that girl?
My
don't.
only goal for you is no felonies. No felony record.
Yep.
That's a pretty low bar. You don't have. You know what that means? You just don't have to do stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't do anything.
That was your mom's goal for you too.
Yeah. No. Her goal was just that the cops did not come to our house,
Yeah.
Oh,
so I could be
fair
arrested
enough.
elsewhere.
Right. She was like, just don't bring that to my doorstep.
Still failed at that one.
But I don't know if, like, because obviously me, like, I'm 37 having a kid, but I don't know if it's necessarily like I'm glad that I'm older, but I'm just glad I'm in recovery and having a kid.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. No, I wouldn't have been a stay-at-home dad, or I definitely wouldn't have been a good one, or had
Yeah.
any sort of care or concern, because I was a terror. Like, I was just, I don't know. Like, I had more, like, weirdly enough, I had more money before than I do right now, but like
That's
it was
not
just
weird. That wasn't your money.
yeah. Well, that's true too.
I'm kidding.
But it was just like I was in such a different
Yeah.
place, and so, because when I was married before, we had that conversation about kids, and I was like, oh, I was 20. We got married at 22. I'm like, okay, cool. That was like the next logical step. Like, you get married, you have kids, like kind of. But then it was just like something just in me. Well, I know what it was. It was like gambling. It was like, if I have a kid, that's gonna be a lot less money that I have to spend
Yeah.
on gambling.
For real.
And then it just kept progressively, and I was like, well, I can't have children because I'm not going to give this up. Like, I was giving up relationship. I was giving up a whole lot of other things, but I'm like, I refuse. Like, bring a kid because
I think the
somehow
guilt
my
of
moral
being a
ground.
parent is a huge relapse
Mm-hmm.
trigger, especially for at least the women I've worked with. You
Yep.
know, it's just like that. You get sober, and then it's not as beautiful as you thought it was going to be, or
Mm-hmm.
the kids are not ready for this new you,
Yep.
or they're like, you've said this before.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, and so sometimes that heartbreak it makes it seem like, what's the point then, you
Right.
know? And that's a scary place, because the point is that, like, you get it and you end up being a role model for your 20-something-year-old son that's now in recovery. You know what I
Right.
mean? And you didn't give up. But the stress of parenting, and then when people get into recovery and then they think, I'm going to go back to my house and it'll just be smooth and I'll know how to parent now and whatever.
Right.
Kids are stressful. Kids are super stressful. And that's just one of the many things you have going on in early recovery.
Right.
Like the bills, the ex, the blah, blah, blah. And the last thing it seems like you want to do is take more time out of your night to find a babysitter to go to a meeting. You know, I wish there were more meetings that had daycare, but there just aren't. So, but without that, the whole thing falls apart.
Right.
I've just seen it happen over and over and over. And it's unfortunate that there's not a lot of daycare, but there are. Once you meet people in recovery, you can share a babysitter. You can trade kids off. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of different ways to do it. But if you don't put recovery before your kids and your significant other or whatever, you lose the kids and the significant other. It just whatever you put before that, you lose. And I always thought that was such a dumb cliche, but I've seen it play out over and over and over and over.
Yeah. There used to be meetings with daycare back in the day,
Yeah.
and then they just slowly kind of, I guess, went away or whatever. It's not a bad idea. Even if you could, I mean, how, like, if all the parents that came there that had kids or whatever, if they pooled their money and
Yeah.
had a babysitter,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, chip in a few bucks and have so that you don't have to, like,
It'd have to be like a professional or like someone who is going to be able to do it every week,
right, yeah.
you know, because I think in the past we used other kids
Yeah.
and then they grow up or they just get annoyed with taking care of kids or whatever, and they're like, I don't want to do it anymore.
Or we would trade moms.
If
like,
you
we
don't
would
show
each
up,
watch.
Catherine's going to get drunk.
No pressure.
That's all on
See
you,
Tuesday.
little girl.
Yeah.
Trauma.
There's a lot of super responsible people that can
Oh,
show
you see
up
that
every
obituary? Good job, Catherine.
week. That's all.
Should have
you
showed
need.
up and babysit.
It's just for 1 hour.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wish there were more of that.
Yeah.
But it's hard to get together.
Mm-hmm. But I'm definitely grateful because I've brought, like, there's been a couple of different groups that I've been to, like AA groups and NA, that like I brought Ricky to, just because I didn't really have any other options for whatever reason, and like it was more awkward for me than it was for them.
Yeah.
People were way more great. Like, we're just glad you're here.
Yeah.
More than, and I just was like, oh my God, like, what if he, and then I'm just thinking of all these different scenarios of all these bad things, right, that he's going to do that's going to ruin everyone's recovery experience for this 1 hour. Like, what if there's a newcomer there? And it was just all these things that I would just like be self-consciously putting on him when he just has to just be himself.
Yeah.
And then when I get there and I was like, hey, and then I would just like apologize to everyone. I was like, no, it's totally cool. Like, if you do what you got to do, like, we're just glad you're here. And then it was just like, oh man, I almost didn't come, but I knew I needed, but that was like one of the, like,
you're the only
I needed
one who
to.
doesn't hear the whole meeting.
Right.
You know? I know. We got super lucky when we first started having kids. My cousin Emily showed up at my house every Tuesday for 15 years to watch my kids so that we could go to a meeting. And it just made the meeting, better, and I didn't worry about the kids. And in fact, I so didn't worry about the kids. They'd be like, is it an Emily night? Is it an Emily night? Like, yes, you're free of me. But that was a huge thing, because I had to put that first, or I was a impatient, like, I just was a mom I didn't want to be,
Right.
So yeah, just to set up something for yourself that's consistent, and yeah, we got really lucky. She's amazing. And to watch all three of my boys for even 3 hours, that's something.
Yeah.
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 I could not imagine.
Great kids, though. Yeah,
They are. They're super witty. Really.
I've been locked up, boys. They don't care.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know what that means. Yeah.
You ever been to prison, little boy? Well, me either.
No, but on Fridays I watch Gangland.
It's just like that.
See those bars in the crib? Imagine bars of steel.
You see that tiny white guy in the corner? That's you.
Start lifting weights. No, they're pretty great. And I haven't had to do it alone. And I don't even have to know what I'm doing, which is the beautiful part, because I still don't know what I'm doing. So good luck, Ricky.
Yep.
Oh.
Oh, look at how sad he is.
Just keep that in there.
Oh.
Oh, well, that's a quick fix.
Yeah.
I wish my boys liked a nookie or whatever you call them. They did not.
Oh, baby still does.
Yeah, no.
Because we had so many of them. She'll find them throughout the house that were lost, and she'll just be like, she'll look at it, she'll see it from like across the room.
Scavenger.
No one saw it. It's like an Easter egg hunt. Yeah, for nookies in our house, and she'll look around, she'll see it, and then she'll say, "Nookie." I'm like, dang it! We just went 3 days.
Or is that the goal or something? The goal is to get her off of that.
Well, it's to the point now. She's only allowed to have it when she goes to bed at night. So it's transitioning out of it, because it's crazy. You put the nookie in her mouth and she just like behaves. And I was like, oh, I'm the same way with drugs.
Yeah, I know. I totally relate to you.
That's probably the hard part, because I was like, man, I know what dope does.
I get it.
That's your
That's your dope.
You just wanna cool off. You just want your mind to stop racing. You want to put the drink thought out of your mind.
Yeah. I just want to go to sleep.
I just want to go to sleep.
Well, with the last 2 minutes of the day, guys got any final words you want to share? Wisdoms about parenting or recovery?
Nope, you've heard it all. We've basically told you everything about being. No, we got a golf tournament coming up, and then I'm speaking at a chamber event in September. It's going to be called Mental Health and Incarceration.
Yep.
I'm speaking. It's at the. Is that the I don't know. I'll have to look. I'll send
I
it to
think it's
you.
Holiday Inn.
Alright,
Yeah,
alright.
it's the eggs and issues for those who follow chamber events.
Yeah.
They do them, I think, every quarter.
Yeah, just go to the chamber
Mhm.
website. They'll find. Well, not you.
Like
I'll send-
Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
Fargo,
Okay.
Moorhead, West Fargo
I don't
chamber.
know.
Tickets are $35
Yeah.
for non-members. And
Chamber of Doom. I don't know.
Chamber of Doom.
Some Harry Potters.
Yep.
thing.
So
Mhm.
Captain Andy Frobig will be one of the speakers too from the jail, and then I think they're gonna try and lock in, no pun intended, try and lock in a couple from like the state probation office or the behavioral health or whatever. So it should be pretty cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, Kirsten, anything for you? Any updates or anything you want to share before we go?
No, not really. Enjoying the summer. Got done with baseball,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about it. Yeah.
Cool.
You?
Yeah, not a whole lot. Just grateful for all those who are parenting in recovery. Just keep going.
Camille said it's at the Marriott in Moorhead.
Oh, it's Marriott Moorhead. Yep. Eggs and issues. You can't
Grab
find
somebody.
it. Yeah.
Bunch of people show up to the Holiday Inn. We're here to hear Adam.
Adam who? Yeah. But we're grateful for everyone who always tunes in on Facebook, and if you're listening on the radio or if you're checking out our podcast, we're thankful to you. Please subscribe. Please continue to just listen. We have way more content coming up for you. We got some special guests. So shout out Lara Headland. She's gonna be coming on in a couple weeks. We're gonna get her on. So I'm looking forward to that. And so we're just super thankful that we're able to continue to do this. Please, please, please keep focusing on your recovery and keep doing you.
Subscribe.
And subscribe. Most importantly, please subscribe. Have a great, wonderful day, everyone. We will see you or hear you, or you'll hear us again real soon.